So we've invited somebody to talk about visions and ambitions of a gigabit society. Please welcome on stage Senior Vice President at Telia Company, Henriette Wendt. A big round of applause.
Good morning. My name is Henriette Wendt, and I'm head of the Lithuania, Estonia, and Denmark cluster, as we call it, for Telia Company. Telia is present in all the Nordic and Baltic countries except Iceland. We aim to be the new generation telco, providing network services and also other tools that people and companies need to make most of their digital life. We believe our region has the precondition to lead the way for the rest of the world, and we aim to be in the forefront of this race. We are about to enter into a new era. Whether this is a revolution or a paradigm shift, we don't know yet. But what we do know is that the forces of the fourth industrial revolution are strong, and the digitalization of societies and companies is picking up. We believe that with 5G and the right ecosystem, we will see a shift in momentum. We are not yet making the most of our vision in a new way. The rapid emergence of artificial intelligence, combined with unprecedented growth in machine learning, in data analytics, and in advanced networks, are moving this work to academics and to businesses, and putting these new tools in the hands of every customer. These developments are inviting the technology into homes and into businesses. We are automating businesses and people's lives, creating efficiencies and freeing up time. We are already moving beyond digitalization. But let me give you some example about our technology, where we have come from and where we're going. I started in the technology business, in the telecoms industry, in 1995. Back then, I had a dial-up connection of 28.8 kilobits per second. With the introduction of ISDN, I doubled that to 56 kilobits per second, sometimes even 112. Later, ADSL brought megabit speeds, and today we are giving customers the first taste of gigabit speeds with fiber. When I got my first mobile phone back in 1996, it was a 2G phone with just kilobit speeds. Voice was the killer app, and SMS was a novelty. Later, we introduced GPS and Edge and new technology and new possibilities. Nearly 10 years later, 3G introduced megabit speeds on our mobile phones. And with 4G, we are reaching 20 to 50 megabits per second. And we're pushing above that with LTE Advanced above 100, really. And this has also brought other possibilities to our phones. So up to now, I have experienced in my career speeds from 20 kilobits per second to 20 megabits per second. Going from 20 megabits per second to 20 gigabits per second, we believe is possible within only a few years. And that will be an improvement of about 100,000 times. But this is not about the network. It's about new technology, and it's about the new generation considering and exploring a whole world of applications and services that today we consider pipe dreams, to make life easier and to create new opportunities. Like the people you see on the screen, for example, Kirke, who is our CTO in Estonia. We have tested 5G capabilities, and the latency achieved is below 3 milliseconds. That represents a huge improvement on the performance of 4G and makes virtual reality and augmented reality really come alive. To give you some context, the human brain perceives roughly 4 times slower than that. It moves us past the point where human brain can perceive. In other words, we are just a year away from commercially launching networks that can return data to your device faster than the biological functioning of the human brain can even perceive. Latency, which has gone from seconds to milliseconds, will have an even greater impact than speed. It will create unprecedented requirements on technology and our networks. But again, this is not about the technology. It's about what our customers can do with it. We think the capacity for innovation and customer use cases is the biggest shift since the introduction of mobile. Just think back to the 2G phone with the voice capabilities. Today, the only limitation we see is really the limits of our own imagination. And that is why we are now talking about dream reality. Dream reality is the place where networks and connectivity support the development of products and services, and where the only limit is your capacity to imagine and to dream. By 2020, we can be transporting at least double, if not 4 times as much data volumes in our networks. And this will allow people to explore and use completely new applications and services. And I am very excited about how truly life-changing this will be. So why is this important? Let me give you some examples of what we talk about when we say Gigabit society. Our home, the Nordic and Baltic region, is the world's digital sandbox. It's a unicorn factory. Our region represents 2% of the global GDP, yet we have accounted for almost 10% of the world's billion-dollar exits over the last decade. No other region in the world consumes more data than we do, or use the devices the way we do, or are early adopters the way we are. And that makes me very proud. And we have an aspiration. We want to build gigabit societies and terabit territories. However, we can't do this alone. We need your support. By 2025, we aspire to have close to full coverage with bandwidth of at least 1 gigabit per second for all our customers across our footprint. An important part of our aspiration is ubiquity, meaning full coverage everywhere. But it doesn't stop here. We believe that within our region, we will also be giving some customers terabit speeds. By 2025, we envision ubiquitous, borderless networks with at least 1 gigabit of speed. The smart society will build on a fundament of state-of-the-art connectivity. And we believe that is what is required to create the digital society. In our part of the world, we strive for cohesion, and we will build smart infrastructure, not only in the cities, but also in small villages and municipalities. In a smart society, we have smart businesses, and we have smart public sector. Smart people, they live in smart homes, and everything is connected. All parts of society is sharing data, making life easier, and enabling solving of old problems with new solutions. And these new solutions will take care of tedious tasks so that people can use their time to do things that are more important. A recent study that we carried out with Deloitte regarding our region illustrates the possible impact we're talking about. Over the next 4 years, enhanced use of digital solutions among governments, businesses, and consumers can add nearly 100 billion euros in our region's economy. And ICT can generate nearly 500,000 new jobs. Cloud computing could contribute to the creation as many as 9,000 SMEs in Sweden alone. And if we imagine that 75% of all businesses use cloud computing, that could represent a market worth over 20 billion euros in the Nordic and the Baltic region. But digitalization has an impact beyond the economy. We believe, and we have in our study seen, that we can enable reduction of, for example, greenhouse gases by up to 20%. That equates to taking off nearly 9 million cars from the roads for 1 year. In order for this vision to become reality, we need to collaborate across industries and build completely new ecosystems. The amazing potential for innovation and growth cannot happen in isolation. We need to build an environment that is open, collaborative, and inspiring for all companies from startups to multinationals. At Telia, we have done so by inviting a variety of companies to help us deliver services to our customers. If we try to do this on our own, it will probably be too costly, take too long, and not be quite as good as otherwise would. And that's why we believe the public sector needs to open up more too. Just imagine how much we need to change our way of providing services to make smart societies work. Open source data as a default, private and public systems, interlinked, smart solutions for every service. And do we think that municipalities can do this on their own? Absolutely not. So let me give you an example. Telia's subsidiary called Felt Communications offers an open IoT platform for smart public transportation. Different applications can be added to this platform. The public region of Skåne in Sweden is investing in smart traffic management. All buses in the region are equipped with smart public transportation functionality, connecting everything such as alcologs, ticket validation, onboard Wi-Fi, and other services. And this creates resource efficiency, but it also creates an incentive and attractiveness of public transportation versus private transportation. And this could only be done in collaboration between different companies, private and public. And just think of the possibilities that comes with e-health. Distance monitoring that alerts the doctors before the patient even has begun to feel ill. Distance treatments from another region, or maybe even from another country. Connected medical devices or online pills giving a signal when they're swallowed. At Telia, we work with municipalities to connect elderly with sensors so that we are alerted when they fall. This might seem like a minor thing, but considering that more people die from falling than die in the traffic, this is actually quite important. It has great potential for helping many. It will provide higher quality of life for elderly and allowing them to stay home and making health services better. Great possibilities can come true with political systems that create regulation that allows new and visionary service solutions and a chance to develop new products. Politicians have the power to kill innovation or to make our region the world's leading in exporting of new e-services. Data-driven business models like Google's will continue to drive tremendous growth, generating new business, tax proceeds, and creating new jobs. The problem is that most of these businesses are developed outside of our region. Our e-privacy regulation is forcing entrepreneurs to California and to Seoul. And with them goes jobs, money, and our position in the development. We must understand the data economy to make it thrive in our countries. One of the most important journeys that we have embarked upon is the achievement of the UN Sustainable Development Goals. Achieving the UN Sustainable Development Goals can only happen through the use of new technology and communications. And we need to start building partnerships to make this happen. As an industry, we came together last year to put our support behind this achievement. And it's important that we continue to do so, and we ask others to join us and step up. So, dear government officials and partners, I have come here to make some asks. I have 2 asks in particular to make this become a reality sooner rather than later. The first one is about regulation, and the second one is about our ambition for society. Firstly, on the policy side, our industry needs an environment that favors investments. More specifically, we need spectrum in order to deliver the volumes and the latencies I was talking about, both high and low. We need consistent policy on data. Data is going to be a vital source of new growth, and if we're not careful, that growth could happen elsewhere. And we need an end to restrictive commercial regulation, as we have seen growing out of net neutrality, for example. To deliver our ambition, considerable investment is needed in infrastructure, and this requires both predictability and stability. Secondly, as part of our Gigabit society, we at Telia are developing a strategy with concrete targets, not just based on networks and speed. And this is where you come in. We would like to see, as a part of our strategy, governments in our region commit to an ambition for the digitalization of our region with concrete targets. So we would like for you to commit to ambition and targets when it comes to key drivers of the digitized society. And they include healthcare, education, SMEs, and startups, all very important factors for digitization. I am sure you understand the digitization and its potential, both for your economy, but also for the achievement of the UN Sustainable Development Goals. And again, achieving those goals will only happen through the use of ICT. Digitalization is the foundation for competitiveness of our region. And having an agenda for how to achieve truly digitized society is crucial. And we don't just need you to set out an ambition for your respective countries. We would also like to see collaboration between these countries so that our Nordic and Baltic region can stay in the front together. So please, plan, build commitment, and support. I look forward to working with you on this very exciting journey. Thank you very much.
Thanks.